Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Chloe Waltz. I'm an indie author who writes sci-fi fantasy with a touch of history. And my main series is sci-fi, history, Age of the Immortals. But I have a lot of other ideas, like a lot. And I thought we'd go through, because I don't even know how many ideas I actually have, go through the ideas I have and present them to you and maybe get some thoughts and opinions on which ideas you'd like to see turned into books or short stories or web series or flash fictions, or which ones are probably best left as an idea in the books. So I primarily keep physical journals, and this is the oldest of my journals that I have. It is from some animal sanctuary from many, many years ago. So I've already gone through these journals and marked the pages that actually do have new story ideas. This journal is primarily full of notes for a book I've been working on for the past 8 years called Maples and Loons. It's come up in different posts in the past. It is an old idea set in the 1920s. It's a mystery, but it has been a work in progress for about 8 years now because I just can't get the plot right. This was the main journal that I used to take notes of it, but we are not presenting that today because it is still an actual work in progress that I am genuinely wanting to publish in the future, so I don't want to give too much away on that. So let's get into it. Opening it up to the first idea is one that I called Tessa, Kessa, and Essa. I was probably based on when this notebook was from, middle school, when I came up with this idea. For context, I am now 20 years old, and this idea is from middle school. So, according to my notes, Tessa, Kessa, and then I guess Essa was added in later because it's a little... I'll have a picture up on the screen so you can see what I'm actually looking at, are the same person. Tessa is a human 9th grader. Kessa is Tessa's immortal sorceress/enchantress form. When I say form, this is a term I'll be using in a later work in progress called Cosmic Disconnect, but it's like if you could have a second appearance, a second identity, and you can magically change into them. That's what I mean by a form. So it looks like I might have 2 different draft ideas, actually. The first one was Kessa, the sorceress form, battled something and came back to Earth when Tessa is a 25-year-old police detective. She left, I guess, as a 9th grader, and Tessa does not remember ages 14 through 25. And when she came back, she combined with Kessa to create Essa. Kind of weird. I don't really understand my idea here. Personally, I wouldn't want to do much with this because I don't know if I can make it less childish and dorky, to be honest. It says that Kessa's powers are something I called the Sands of Doom, which is something from a childhood game that I used to play in elementary school. It was this black sand that can turn into stuff, almost like a sand version of Green Lantern or something. I was a 4th grader when I came up with the Sands of Doom, and she's a master of spells and potions and doesn't use a wand for spells. I did have ideas for a villain, but I didn't have much on her. And I do actually have images that I will, again, be on the screen of the different designs I created for Kessa, Tessa, and Essa. These were created in a game online where you could create Star Wars characters. So that is, I guess, the background that I decided to use. The game I decided to use. Except for Essa, I recognize this game. This one was to create a Viking lady, I think, or something like that. I do like the character designs. Like, I could maybe use the character designs for a different story, but I'm not too sure about the plot. So then jumping ahead, the second draft idea for Tessa Casa Essa is Tessa being a normal high school freshman when she discovers this magic world, this magic realm, when she was knocked out in gym class. There she is in a form called Kessa. And for the next year, Tessa goes between Earth and this magic realm, protecting the magic realm and living a normal life. During senior year, she is in the magic realm battling a very powerful enemy where they get struck so hard that Tessa and Kessa are blown apart and both. But because their souls were linked, the two souls merged and create Essa. Essa has all of Kessa's and Tessa's characteristics. And on Earth, Tessa's body is found. In the magic realm, Kessa's body was discovered from the rubble of the battle and given a funeral of a hero. Essa starts where Tessa and Kessa left off. She finally learns how to bend memories to make a life for herself on Earth as well as in the magic realm, because it would be less suspicious if she didn't appear from nowhere. And I guess I did keep the idea of the police detective. And I guess I did also note that neither world knows that Essa is Tessa and Kessa. So this idea is actually very similar to my cosmic disconnect idea, which cosmic disconnect, if you didn't already know, I might have mentioned it in newsletters before. Subscribe to those if you haven't already. Based on a childhood game I played back in elementary and middle school with my best friend. And I'm turning that childhood game into a book called The Cosmic Disconnect. So I probably can't do this story of Tessa Casa Essa as I have the idea, because it is so highly inspired by that game, because this would just end up being Cosmic Disconnect with different people. It would honestly end up being really similar. So this story, I would have to do a lot of tweaking to get this to not be like self-plagiarism. Okay, next story. Oh, I have a date on this. May 30th, 2019. Okay, so this was when I was a senior Girl Scout working on a novelist badge. I was a Girl Scout from kindergarten through senior year of high school. And I was doing a novelist badge. We had to write a story, and this was my idea that I had come up with, of a story set in medieval times, told from the perspective of a horse, of a powerful warrior woman. I don't know if I've ever read a book where the horse or an animal of the main character is the point of view. That might actually be kind of cool to work with that idea of a non-person of the main character telling the story. So I guess my idea was that this warrior woman's on a quest to find the lost son of an old king in the kingdom that had been taken over by a powerful empire. So the prince can start a rebellion to become a free kingdom again. That idea, I do actually like that one. So I'm going to keep the post-it note on that, because I do actually think, I want to know what you guys think, but I think I could work with that. Maybe not the exact conflict, but the idea of the perspective being told from a horse. Or not even a horse, it could be a car, although that was done in Supernatural, so I don't know. Telling it from an inanimate or an animal. Then what did you think of that? And the last one in here is just more notes on Tessa and Kessa about not having memories and stuff like that. So there's one idea from here that I do like, and that is the horse one. So, but let me know what you thought of the Tessa Casa Essa. Any of those could be interesting. So then my next notebook is this one. So on this front page, it is full of ideas, lots of ideas, really quick ones. it'll be on the screen so you can see. This whole journal is full of Age of the Immortals notes, actually. This was like my primary one, and I'll put this page on the screen. This is my original, when I was creating the Kemetese language, this is where I started it, and this page gives me a headache just looking at it. So the first one was called America in Truth, where a girl from 2020, okay, so this is from COVID. I was a sophomore and junior in high school. I was a sophomore when COVID started, and it went through my junior and senior years of high school. So I guess America in Truth is about a girl set in 2020 getting transported to different events in American history, like the Civil War, and learning about history that she didn't really know. And I did note here that I didn't want to disclose her appearance as to keep her race like out of the picture, in using a nickname instead of her real name, just to really keep that this girl could be anybody. It could be the person reading it, could be this girl. So, and I want to put in real events of 2020 and like not really discuss the politics or everything, just let people come to their own conclusions about things. And I would have to change the names of any modern famous people for like copyright reasons and all of that. You can reference famous people, but it gets really complicated. It's just best to leave out real names if you can, because the copyright laws get really complicated, and it's best just to avoid them altogether. And I guess in this idea, I wanted to have her be transported in the middle of real 2020 events that is similar to a historical one. This is an interesting idea, but let me know what you think about this idea. It is an interesting one. I think it could be cool, but it is outside of my general genre a little bit. I mean, it's still in the realm of, I guess, sci-fi and history, but it's a lot more like real worldy than I normally do. The next one on this page is called Superhero Series. Now this idea, my note, is a massive spoiler. So if you don't want a spoiler, skip ahead to the next part of the video. Of a series where the revelation at the end is that the hero is just a patient in a mental facility and none of the series is real. I've been told by my sister that this was, or my brother or something, one of my siblings, said that this was actually done in like a TV show or like a book or something. So I would have to do a little more research to make sure I'm not plagiarizing another idea. But it is one I still like. I still like this idea. The problem is coming with the superhero and the actual plot, because I have the end, but not the beginning, or the entire middle, for that matter. The next one is called The Singer Story, and I have actually started drafting this one. But a cheerleader in her high school keeps her love of music hidden, and she becomes this famous like rock and roll star, but is also a cheerleader, and she keeps her double life like secret and no one knows. So I have actually started drafting this one. I do like it. It is well outside of my realm of genre. This is definitely like realistic fiction. And I don't write realistic fiction, but I have written children's books. And if I were to put out my children's books, I might put them actually under a pen name. So my sci-fi more adult content doesn't show up, because I do get into some dark themes and things like Believe and all of that. So if I were to do this one, it could be published under my potential children's YA author name if I were to do this one. Because I don't think my reader base would be interested in a plot like this, because I'm a sci-fi fantasy historical writer. And the last one on this one is a Civil War story, which I've been working on this one probably since like middle school. So that's why it's in here, about a woman named Mrs. Benaford, whose husband died in the War of 1812, and takes in 4 young ladies and helps them through the war. And each girl is known to take care of them, one was disowned because she's an abolitionist, one is an orphan, and one is a father in the Union Army and a mother that died in childbirth, and the last one has a father who died in service, and she left home because she didn't want to marry who her mother chose for her. And then one of them, I guess, is Mrs. Beneford's daughter, which I think that makes it 5. Guess I can't count. It's 5, not 4. And then the last one, I don't even know what this is. Let's find out together. AI on the beach, where a person is walking on the beach and sees a girl hurt. But it's not a girl, but actually a highly advanced AI. And the AI is struggling with the fact that she's having human feelings because it's considered a glitch that was left unfixed and leads to termination. That could be interesting, especially with how much AI is advancing. And it is very sci-fi. I write sci-fi, but this is like hardcore. When you hear sci-fi, this is the sort of stuff I feel like my brain goes to. I don't know how I feel about it. It's another one I'm a little on the fence for, so let me know what you think of these ideas, which ones you like, which ones you don't like, which ones you might actually have other ideas for. So I will put the Post-it note back because there are some good ideas, I think, on this one. And then my last one, this is my current journal that I use. So it is full of all of my notations for the Age of the Immortals series, and everything is all in here. So on the first page is one I have highlighted, but I actually cannot talk about because this is an active whip that I am working on. I will say it is like a vampire, story, which is more fantasy than sci-fi, but it's actually getting complicated because I took another work in progress and combined it with this one, and now they're one, but has 2 sets of characters, 2 plots that I'm trying to combine into one story, 1 plot. So I can't talk about that one because it will be a book I will be publishing. The only other idea in here is one I came up with this summer, I think while I was in France. I was in France for 2 weeks this summer, and I think I came up with this idea there because we were watching, so for context, we were watching Disney's Rapunzel in French with English subtitles with my host family. They wanted to put on a movie, and they put it on in French and put on the English subtitles for me. We're watching Disney's Rapunzel, and this was a Rapunzel what if, of what if Gothel wouldn't let Rapunzel save Flynn Rider. So this whole idea is about the sun's gift was used, but what if the moon also left a gift as well, but it's a more darker gift because the moon is angry that Mother Gothel had abused the flower. And this flower was found by another kingdom where an evil queen ruled the kingdom, and she was pregnant, and she killed the king to rule her husband, and I guess the king's brother stole the flower and tried to poison the queen with it, but she didn't die immediately. The day the princess was born, the queen died, and the princess had the gifts of the flower, the whole magic hair thing. This would have to be released as a fan fiction. I would not be able to put this idea out as a published novel. This would have to be on my website for free as fanfic. Keep that in mind when you're hearing this idea and thinking about if you want it out or not, because this would not be behind a paywall. I would not be able to make money off of this or anything or publish this traditionally. This cannot be traditionally published because of copyright reasons. So I guess this princess was crowned queen the day she was born, but her uncle was the regent. And this moon queen, whatever, learns of the sun princess Rapunzel and goes to find her, finds a tower, finds Flynn Rider dead, panic, thinking that it could have been her fault because of her powers. She accidentally uses her powers and saves him and calls him from death, like resurrects him. And Flynn and this queen, moon princess, go off to find Rapunzel and stop Mother Gothel. And I was saying I wanted to be very masculine, and she has like white hair that glows silver, but it gets cut. It's black. I was thinking her name could be Petrocinellia, which is another name for Rapunzel in an Italian version of the story. So Rapunzel's kingdom in the Disney version is called Corona. And I needed to come up with a name for this other kingdom, which I don't have that idea, but that is that one. And now I have a few post-its notes ideas here of just quick little things that popped into my head and I wrote on post-it notes. World where sirens are real and hunted, and the MC is a female and is half siren, and she's determined to hide her heritage so that she isn't killed. This is not the first time I have come up with ideas using mermaids or sirens. So it is an idea and a species I am intrigued by doing. I have one where I have a male merman, like a male mermaid or merman. I only have like one scene of that one though, so. What if Atlantis was actually in space? Reason it was never found was because the instructions were not for places on Earth, but to tell you where in the universe. It's interesting. I don't have much more to that idea other than Atlantis being a planet, but it could be cool. This one actually have a title, King of Monsters. World is full of monsters and all the kids are raced to fight them. One boy has power over them and is able to make them do his will. No one knows because the boy knows that only monsters can command monsters. Starts as a young child and make him a young teen. So this almost sounds like YA to me, so that's cool. Kind of like that one, it's kind of fun. And this last one is called Tomorrow Never Comes, where I'm not sure about the gender of my lead. I was thinking female, but it could be male. Wakes up every day with a new identity, too solid to be fake. Or I guess like every day they wake up as a new person. So I don't know if their appearance changes or not, but that's what I said. So if you liked this, let me know. I can do a part 2 with the ideas I have on my computer, because I do have ideas on my computer and on my phone in my post-it notes app. So if you like this and you want to hear more ideas, let me know and I will do a part 2 where I go through my computer and talk about all the ideas I have in there. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to check out my Instagram and my threads and my website, which will all be linked below. Thank you for watching. I will see you guys next time.